top leagues and tournaments, and the biggest names in the game. ESPN Plus. Live sports. Thousands of live events. ESPN Plus Originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive access. Top leagues and tournaments. And the biggest names in the game. ESPN Plus. Live sports. Thousands of live events. ESPN Plus Originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive access. Top leagues and tournaments. And the biggest names in the game. ESPN Plus. Live sports. Thousands of live events. ESPN Plus Originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive access. Top leagues and tournaments. And the biggest names in the game. ESPN Plus. Live sports. Thousands of live events. ESPN Plus Originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive access. Top leagues and tournaments. And the biggest names in the game. ESPN Plus. Live sports. Thousands of live events. ESPN Plus Originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive access. Top leagues and tournaments. And the biggest names in the game. ESPN Plus. Live sports. Thousands of live events. ESPN Plus Originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive access. Top leagues and tournaments. And the biggest names in the game. ESPN Plus. Live sports. Thousands of live events. ESPN Plus Originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive access. Top leagues and tournaments. And the biggest names in the game. ESPN Plus. Live sports. Thousands of live events. ESPN Plus Originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive access. Top leagues and tournaments. And the biggest names in the game. ESPN Plus. Live sports. Thousands of live events. ESPN Plus Originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive access. Top leagues and tournaments. And the biggest names in the game. ESPN Plus. Live sports. Thousands of live events. ESPN Plus Originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive access. Top leagues and tournaments. And the biggest names in the game. ESPN Plus. Live sports. Thousands of live events. ESPN Plus Originals. the exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive access. Top leagues and tournaments. And the biggest names in the game. ESPN Plus. Live sports. Thousands of live events. ESPN Plus originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive access. Top leagues and tournaments. And the biggest names in the game. ESPN Plus. Live sports. Thousands of live events. ESPN Plus originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive access. Top leagues and tournaments. And the biggest names in the game.
Hello and welcome to the Rose Bowl ahead of one of the most hotly anticipated friendlies of this pre-season campaign, as it's AC Milan who take on Real Madrid. It's pretty much a sellout here as tens of thousands of fans have packed their stadium to see their heroes in the flesh. And what a big game, of course, this is for two very big reasons. For Milan, it's the debut of Christian Pulisic in an AC Milan shirt. Meanwhile, for Real Madrid, it's the first time we're going to see Jude Bellingham play for the Whites. Shaka Hislop alongside me. Shaka, let's concentrate first, shall we, on Christian Pulisic, as we're about to get sprayed here by the sprinklers. They're just watering. It is a hot, sticky night here in Pasadena, as you can imagine. Christian Pulisic, of course, making that decision to move to Milan. And speaking ahead of this game, he said that Pioli had a big, big influence on why he made that change.
He made me feel like he wanted me here. He wanted me to be a part of this team, and he saw me fitting into this team, and that's what I wanted to hear. Obviously I want a fair opportunity like everyone else to have the chance to come here. I still need to earn my place, of course, but it felt like I was wanted here, and I have a great opportunity if I show good effort, good attitude every day, and train well, that I'm going to get the opportunity to go out and perform.
We've talked about Christian Pulisic and where he should have gone for so long, Shaka. And the priority was always, where's he going to play? And that seems to be key in him making a decision to play here. And, of course, he does start today.
Given everything Pioli has said to Christian Pulisic ahead of his rival in Milan, you feel he'll get an opportunity. The opportunity that he's been looking for ever since he left Borussia Dortmund. Stefano Pioli has also done a wonderful job of developing young talent. And while Christian Pulisic has been in the game for a long time, it feels like we've been talking about him for eons, he's still only 24. Still a lot of growing, still a lot of developing in the game. If Pioli can get the best out of him, I think he's got a real play on his hands.
Now, what's interesting is where he's going to play. Now, today, we think he's going to play on the left-hand side. Yeah. Rafael Leao doesn't start. You are going to be speaking to Rafael Leao this week as Milan come to ESPN FC. It'd be interesting to see that battle and where Pulisic ends up starting this season.
I think Pulisic works so well off of either flank. And oftentimes he's been asked to do a job as needed. Not necessarily where he prefers to play, but where he wants to play. I think that's going to have to be another aspect of his game, how he adapts to what's asked of him, whether it be purely in terms of formation or whether it be on the left or the right flank.
And for today's game, he wants to hit the ground running, yeah?
Absolutely he does. It's been a frustrating 4 years since he arrived at Chelsea. Given Mauricio Sarri said that it wasn't really his signing, the highs of Lampard's first season, the lows of the second. Last season, Christian Pulisic, with all his injuries, played under 3 different managers, including Lampard again. He wants some stability. He needs some consistency to his game.
Meanwhile, one of the biggest transfers of the summer, both financially and in status, is, of course, Jude Bellingham. Yes. Coming to Real Madrid, the excitement around this young Englishman is worth it, isn't it, Shaq?
Absolutely. I think Real Madrid have gotten value for money. Now, a lot of speculation around his arrival, around the changing of the guard. Toni Kroos, Luka Modric still there. How would they feature? A lot of speculation around Tchouameni, Camavinga, who was a reluctant but very effective left-back. So now I want to see where Jude Bellingham will operate. Is it as a box-to-box midfielder? Is it behind a striker, José Luis starts?
Yes.
But he's not the heir apparent to Benzema.
No. there is a certain player at the moment who is currently playing for PSG who kind of suits that role, doesn't he? Obviously, so much speculation about killing Mbappe and about whether or not he's come to Real Madrid this summer. He's been left behind. He's on the naughty step from PSG. He's not gone on the tour of Japan. What have you missed? What have you seen? Shaq! Wait, we need some help. We need medical. Okay. Obviously.
No mistaking the arena, there's no mistaking the combatants. We are at the Rose Bowl in Southern California, this Pasadena Palace to all things great and sporting. And we have two great names from the world's game here to entertain us tonight. Let's check on the starting lineups, and we'll start with Real Madrid. The first look, Casey, at what the post-Karim Benzema era might look like, and a sneak peek at what the Jude Bellingham era might bring.
Yeah, Lunin in goal, and then really you have between, Militao, Nacho, Vasquez, Mendy, and then that midfield. The midfield where Camavinga, Cruz is the veteran who's in there running the show, Valverde, who came up with some spectacular goals from distance, and then obviously Jude Bellingham with that massive transfer to come in.
Yes, all eyes on the Real Madrid number 5 after his big money move from Borussia Dortmund. Timothy Ford leading the All-American officiating crew. But there's another big arrival who has Dortmund in his past on the AC Milan side, and that's Christian Pulisic. A lot of eyes on him, particularly here in Southern California. He plays from the start after his $20 million move from Chelsea, Casey.
Yeah, I think this AC Milan side, it's about organizing defensively, but really trying to figure out that attack. And clearly some big names are missing from this AC Milan attack. But Pulisic got off to a good start in the first preseason friendly against lower division opposition with a couple assists. Loftus-Cheek as well, joining Pulisic from Chelsea, will look to make a bright start in his AC Milan.
It's a blend of established players and new arrivals on both sides of the ball, particularly for the Rossoneri. AC Milan and Real Madrid. It doesn't get much bigger than this, and certainly the venue doesn't either. First meeting on US soil for these two juggernauts since 2012. They played on the other side of the country at Yankee Stadium. That was before Yankee Stadium became a more regular fixture for the sport of football. And that was a very different era that night. Real Madrid won 5-1 with 2 goals from Cristiano Ronaldo, with Jose Mourinho at the helm. All set for action in Southern California. AC Milan are going to be wearing the whites. Real Madrid in the darker uniforms. Adrian Healy and Casey Keller on board with you. So glad you could join us. The first dose of action in this pre-season for Real Madrid after 2 weeks of training. They've been here in Southern California since Thursday. Real Madrid have already had their one friendly, which they won comfortably, but it's these two juggernauts who've followed very similar paths over the last couple of seasons who get things underway here. Both of them, remember, winning their league titles in 2022, both of them failing to defend their league titles last year, and both of them, Casey, of course, making the Champions League semi-finals before exiting. So
yeah, there's no question that it was seasons that could have been for both these sides that didn't quite work out. And when you have the history of both these sides, there's an expectation that trophies are continually flowing into the trophy cabinet. Last season was a little bit of a blip for Real Madrid, and obviously in this process for AC Milan to get back to the heights where they were a decade or so ago, it's still part of that process moving forward.
21 European Cup or Champions League titles between these two clubs as Camavinga leads the charge. Runs into resistance from Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who gets his first tackle in as an AC Milan player.
Yeah, tracked back really well where it looked like Camavinga was maybe going to be able to run quite a distance to get into the AC Milan back third, but good work from Loftus-Cheek.
And then Jude Bellingham taking the floor with a first look at his footwork and dribbling skills. 100 million euros the fee to bring Bellingham to the Spanish capital. A fee that could rise significantly as well. Cost considerably less there. Joselu getting his first touch. The slip was an unfortunate one for young Lorenzo Colombo. He's going to be leading the line from the start tonight for AC Milan.
Yeah, I think the point you made earlier that it is a combination between veterans, young players, and new signings for both teams. So it's opportunities for everybody.
Crowd roaring. Valverde on the cross from Lucas Vazquez is charged down, and Pulisic can get on the ball. Going to be really fascinated to see whether Christian Pulisic can make his mark right from the word go in Italy. It can be a tough league to go to, can't it, Casey?
Well, particularly for probably a player that is more used to being on the offensive side of things. We know traditionally Italy has been a very defensive-minded league, a very defensive-minded footballing country, and so for the attacking, creative players, sometimes they get left maybe out on an island a little bit, but Italian football is trying to change that. They're trying to be more attack-minded. They're trying to be more progressive in the attacking third, and I think when you look at Christian coming into this side, the bigger question maybe is going to be, will he be on the left side? Because we know Leao has pretty much made that position his own. So then with him not in the lineup today, it fits really well for Christian to be out on the left. But if he's in the lineup and the two of them in the lineup together, it'll be interesting to see where they all fit in.
He was joking with the media just yesterday about how this US tour isn't exactly helping him bed in and learn Italian with his teammates. Right back on home soil. Of course, he has some familiar faces in the likes of Loftus-Cheek and Tomori, former Chelsea teammates.
Giroud as well, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, there is some familiarity there, which definitely makes the comfort level that much easier. But then at the same time, you don't want it to be too comfortable. You always want to be on that edge.
Here's Brahim Diaz, one of the Real Madrid new arrivals. Of course, up against the club he spent the last 3 years with. Special moment for him tonight to get back in a Real Madrid shirt and be going against AC Milan. Nicely works. Just a little too strong for Mondi to be able to haul it in.
Yeah, very close to coming off a good combination play, and then he just couldn't get on the end of it to be able to bring it down and put a dangerous ball in the box.
That is Marco Sportiello in goal tonight for the Rossoneri, another of their new arrivals. No stranger to Serie A, played with Atalanta last year and Fiorentina prior to that. Florenzi trying to cushion it forward to Colombo. Here's Bellingham. Real Madrid surging forward with numbers. Little leave. Nicely done by Brahim. Cruz to Valverde, encouraged to shoot. And that is going to be the first corner of the evening.
I don't think Valverde needs a lot of encouragement to shoot from distance. Showed last season his ability from outside the 18. And that time, the deflection led to the corner. Real Madrid looking to sustain some pressure in the AC Milan penalty box.
And a quickly taken corner as well. Cruz with some quick thinking. Lucas Vazquez with an invitation attached, and the shot was low and fizzed and just the wrong side of Sportiello's goal. Valverde again.
Yeah, Valverde really came from a distance as it combined. You see, he just understood the understanding between Vazquez and Valverde where they're going to be. Placed into that space 24 yards out. Great strike, but just wide of Sportiello's left-hand post.
Florenzi. This plays 4 goal, easily picked off by Militao.
Yeah, early on, Real Madrid have done a good job when AC Milan have had possession in their back four, is pressing enough, forcing a ball over distance to see if they can combine, and Real Madrid have done an excellent job of them keeping that possession and trying to combine in these kind of areas where AC Milan have done just enough in that last minute to either make the block or the interception, or the pass maybe was just that little bit too strong to be able to bring down and put that AC Milan defense under more pressure and see if they can get that early goal.
Trinic forced to wheel around in the Milan midfield. Florenzi with an adventurous ball, which had to be a good one. Ruben Loftus-Cheek able to push on, taking on Camavinga. Pulisic lurking left-hand side of the penalty area, looking for a quick combination. Perhaps the shot was on there. Pobega seeing his effort charged down. Pulisic teaming up Pobega with some quick footwork. And the layoff from Colombo. There's the Rossoneri on the move again. Pulisic gets isolated. Can he find the right cross? He can, and it needed Mondi's intervention at the last to put it behind to safety.
Yeah, it's been 2 really good plays in succession from Christian Pulisic, getting isolated out on the wing and then finding the opportunity It gets blocked down to go to his left, so he comes back quickly on his right and puts a very dangerous ball into the box. Well defended by Mendy at the far post, but good work from Christian Pulisic to put a dangerous ball in and give Milan the opportunity.
Macias, the Brazilian, on the far side is going to take this. 6 to aim for inside the penalty area. The near post flick arrived. It was emergency measures taken by Valverde to clear it behind.
Yeah, it's a flat surface into the box, and it's not cleared well at the near post. And Tomori was lurking, but as you mentioned, cleared well.
Yeah,
when needed to be by Valverde.
He was right in the vicinity, wasn't he, Tomori, and he'll stay there. Going to get on the end of this. He was crashing in. Militao had other ideas.
It's been a good spell for the last couple of minutes from Milan, being able to pick up second ball possession and then creating opportunities to put dangerous balls into the box.
Vega, just some cross wires almost. A foot in there to win it back. Bellingham get behind Valverde. Lunin playing from the start tonight in goal for Real Madrid. Of course, he started last season in goal, didn't he, for the Merengues? With Courtois out of action. Minutes in here at the Rose Bowl. Real Madrid and AC Milan. They met in pre-season in 2021 in Austria, a game that finished 0-0. It was a game in which David Alaba made his debut. Gareth Bale missed a penalty.
I think Simic is just getting a little bit of a talking to. That's always the tricky part. You want the match to be as competitive as possible, but then there's always that understanding that, look, this is a preseason game. Let's not get anybody injured here because of a rash challenge. So nothing too much in it, but there was some conversations just to remind everybody.
Yeah. Two players, the two protagonists, both very eager to make an early mark. Giancarlo Simic, the young defender for AC Milan, and Joselu, who wears the number 14 shirt for the first time tonight for Real Madrid. And what a task he has, Casey, at least for now.
You need to be the new Benzema. No, that's not going to happen. So, I mean, I think there's an expectation from everybody with Real Madrid, as we see Bellingham, just a little push in the back. And Krunic, but that Real Madrid will be going into the transfer market to find that marquee striker sooner rather than later.
Yeah. It's an easy take for Lunin. Some catching practice for him. As he said, at the moment it's Joselu's shirt. It's really clever from Brahim Diaz, who's had some sparkling early touches. Taking over, and Joselu on full stretch couldn't quite connect with a toe end.
Well, it starts further up the pitch where it does a really good job, as you mentioned, from Diaz to create, then combines back once again with Lucas Vazquez and then attacks the line, which is nice. It's always a difficult angle coming across there from Joselu to be able to get enough purchase on the strike to really trouble Sportiello in goal, but good combination play on this right-hand side to create the opportunity.
It really has been a remarkable journey to this point for the 33-year-old Joselu. Don't have to go back that far, Casey, to find him being 6th choice striker at Stoke City and unable to get a game there. But of course, he's back to where it all began for him. He was part of the Real Madrid academy, played for the Castilla team, and always dreamt about coming back one day. Seemed to be unlikely.
Well, but he's gotten his opportunity, and because of whatever reason, and as of right now, with lack of somebody else, or it's his position to lose, so make the most of it.
Bellingham. Lovely work from him. Mondi trying to guide Camavinga forward. Camavinga trying some sorcery there against Calabria. That's a good layoff. And has AC Milan on the counter-attack here. Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Sharp point of the attacking dagger, but a misplayed pass will end the move.
Yeah, those are the expectations you see in preseason with new players not quite on the same page with each other. Obviously, by the time the season starts, so much of that will be cleaned up, but a promising chance for Milan on the break that comes away from the errant pass.
Loftus-Cheek, like his former Chelsea teammate Pulisic, looking for a fresh start, a new opportunity, slightly more advanced in his career at the age of 27, as Colombo didn't hear the approaching footsteps. And the pumping up of the volume you hear is the first Mexican wave going around the Rose Bowl, something that's still traditional here as Pulisic picks off that errant clearance. Pulisic trying to tee it up for Loftus-Cheek and sold him just a little short.
It's really well read by Toni Kroos, who then starts the counter-attack, but AC Milan had a good shape defensively with 5 back, but it starts to open up a little bit more as reinforcements were slow.
Now Brahim Diaz has stayed down. Jude Bellingham, who played in the past, was appealing in the direction of Timothy Ford, who is distinctly unimpressed. Brahim is back on his feet. Three years he spent on loan with AC Milan. Brahim, 91 appearances in Serie A, but he admitted he's never stopped thinking about a time where he might return to Real Madrid. He originally belonged to Manchester City. Madrid signed him in 2019. Picked up the edge of the area. Oh, and Colombo could have made an early name for himself. Lorenzo Colombo, the 21-year-old, ended the starting role tonight. He really caught hold of this, Casey.
Yeah, it's good work again, pressing from Milan, and in between Mendy and Camavinga, possessions gifted to Colombo from the top of the box, and it's a good strike with his left foot, but always going over the bar, never really troubling Lunin. But what an opportunity that was gifted to Colombo from the good press from Milan.
Yeah, there's been a couple of sloppy moments out of the back, haven't there, for Real Madrid?
Well, it's their first match. Normally those first matches come with lower division opposition, and you're able to work your way through some things. Well, Ancelotti saying, no, we don't need that. We're going to go straight to some big boys, and our guys will figure it out.
Even though Milan's one game came against third division opponents in Lumezzane last week. A morale boosting 7-0 win to start their pre-season campaign, and now looking to push on is Pulisic again, who's seen a lot of the ball. There we go, it's even a little more than Jude Bellingham. Into touch it goes.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a little different role for Jude Bellingham at Real Madrid than it was for Dortmund. He had a lot of freedom. Some of the question marks going into Bellingham is would he have the discipline that would be expected of him at Real Madrid? Now, you can only ask somebody to do something and make sure that they do it the way you want it to be done. And I can't imagine there's a better person than Carlo Ancelotti to have a young player and get them to perform the way you would like them to perform. But a lot of expectation on a player when you have that $100 million price tag on your head.
Yep. There's been so accustomed in his career to setting new marks. Youngest ever goal scorer for Dortmund. As the recovery was a fair one. Mondi, the well-timed tackle, has left a victim down out of your picture.
Well, he gave the ball away, and that's what you love seeing from any player that is guilty of giving possession away, that they work as hard as possible to get back and win it back. And it did. It looked like from the angle we saw that it was a fair challenge on Loftus-Cheek, who's a little slow to get up. Yeah, I think it was just unfortunate. He just goes to strike the ball on goal and just catches him.
Of the spray on Loftus-Cheek, who joined the Chelsea Youth Academy at the tender age of 8. Had been a Chelsea first-team player since 2014, had to go out on loans to the likes of Crystal Palace and Fulham. But actually coming off a Premier League season in which he played his most appearances for the blue part of West London. Made 25 Premier League appearances last year. It proved to be his final one.
Yeah, and the last thing that he would like to do is in his first appearance in the first half, or I guess in the first appearance for in a more, I guess, visible role than the lower division game that you aforementioned. But yeah, the last thing you want to do is get injured early, and you want to have that opportunity to truly prove yourself. So hopefully Loftus-Cheek will be fine and be able to continue.
Well, while we have just a moment, Casey, I want to assure viewers of ours in the United States watching on ESPN that our colleague Shaka Hislop is okay. He is recovered. Didn't see the incident, Casey, but I'm sure it was an alarming one. We've been told definitive terms that he is okay. He was working on the sideline pre-game, we know that. Cruz. Real Madrid trying to go back to business again. Jude Bellingham, lovely cut, and Bellingham asking for a handball. Timothy Ford, a perfectly good view of it, waving aside those appeals. And now Camavinga to Cruz from distance. That's a couple of efforts that have whistled just past Sportiello's near post.
Again, really good combination. Bellingham comes through. I thought right there he had an opportunity to cut it to Camavinga. In the end, elects to take that touch and hit it himself. Nothing wrong with Jude Bellingham making that decision. And then it just took a really nice block. And then eventually it falls out to Cruz with the good shot from distance. But again, just misses the post. And then this time it's good pressure from Real Madrid, winning the ball back with Camavinga.
He's had an all-action start to the evening, hasn't he, Eduardo Camavinga? Start of his third season now with the Merengues. Only missed one game last year, Camavinga, in the whole of the La Liga campaign. Marcelo peeling away, staying onside, walking the tightrope. Loftus-Cheek getting his own back on Camavinga and emerging with it. It's a slow burn of a build-up there on the counter-attack for AC Milan. Macias was eventually caught, and he has won the free kick. Lunin, the Ukrainian his defensive cover sorted out, with Pulisic standing over the ball for the Rossoneri. Pulisic touched that off. Looked like he hadn't actually touched it, Casey, but
didn't touch much of it.
The header down for Colombo just behind him. He's in retrieval mode and does well just to come up with a corner.
I think in the end that was probably the best case scenario. As it fell in, just to win the corner, get reorganized, continue to put pressure on the Real Madrid back line, and still waiting to see who's going to break the deadlock.
Pulisic feeding it in, and it's AC Milan who have broken the deadlock. Fantastic corner and a thumping header from close range from Tomori. Now the Rossoneri fans may be outnumbered here, and it's they who are making the noise in the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, just really good service into the box. Maybe a little bit of a question on Lunin with the ball coming that much into the 6-yard box, that maybe he could come out and help his defense, but it's really poor marking from Real Madrid. And Tomori couldn't believe that he was that wide open 4 yards out.
And Christian Pulisic gets the assist as well with a perfectly placed corner into the 6-yard box.
And for Pulisic, it's so important coming into a new club with a new opportunity, trying to win over a new set of teammates, coaches, fans, that you just continue to contribute. Coming off of a 2-assist game against lower division opposition in this first match, already in this first half, contributing from the run of play and then off the set piece.
Goal made in West London and scored in Southern California for AC Milan. Such is the nature of the world game. As Tomori's back in his custom role, dealing with the cross. And now what can Real Madrid do to respond? There have been signs, haven't there, through the first 20 minutes or so that AC Milan are going to get their chances tonight. And Ruben Loftus-Cheek marauding through midfield territory again. It's picked up on the move, and a second is not that far away.
Yeah, again, Loftus-Cheek does a great job of just running at the defense. And Messias gets a good opportunity and a good look at goal and doesn't miss by much.
No.
But so much of that starts from just Loftus-Cheek picking up possession, running at Real Madrid and making things happen.
Junior Messias, sometimes not the most popular player in the Milan first team squad. I think it's fair to say, but does weigh in. Important contribution every now and then. Got 5 goals last season.
Well, I think that's the key. I think the key is that those contributions get more consistent. And there was a great opportunity on the break to be able to add to those contributions and just was unable to capitalize on the strike.
Pulisic's ball inside, easily cut out by Kroos. Now Bellingham. Lucas Vazquez. Heading inside with intent. Looking for an outlet. Looking across to Mondi. Marcelo beaten to it by Giancarlo Simic. Carlo Ancelotti hinted he might try something a little different early on in this new season. With no Karim Benzema to lead the attack. Some thoughts that Vinny Jr. and Rodrigo will eventually be a pair. As that cross takes a deflection into the arms of Sportiello.
Well, thinking of how much in the offensive half of the field that Benzema was involved on, either provider or goal scorer over the last decade, more or less.
Yeah.
Of course, without a like-for-like replacement, there is an idea that they're going to have to do something different.
Yeah. Well, Bellingham brings something different by design, doesn't he? It's a nice layoff. Brahim trying to return the favour, just beyond the reach of Bellingham.
Yeah, it really was unlucky for Bellingham. Again, he's shown a couple times in this match when he picks up possession in that final third to be able to run at the defense and create chances for Real Madrid, and that time just needed the return pass on the cross a little bit lower from Diaz.
It's a AC Milan player down. It is Macias. It is. As we reach the half-hour point here at the Rose Bowl. Players will take this opportunity to take on board some liquids as Macias.
Yeah, Macias was kind of holding his hip outside of his thigh after the strike or the contact when he was under pressure before he was shooting from distance. I don't know if that's still the issue. And then preseason, clearly you don't want to fight through anything. You might as well come off, make sure it doesn't linger as you go into preseason. And so it doesn't surprise me that Macias just goes down and says, you know what, it's probably better that I come off, and probably was going to come off at halftime anyway if he wasn't coming off at the 30th minute.
Carlo Ancelotti saying he was very happy with the summer business Real Madrid did, despite no direct replacement for Karim Benzema. Of course, every chance there could be a big name still to come. Names of Kylian Mbappe and Lautaro Martinez are near the top of that particular list. It's substitution coming for AC Milan. I think it's going to be Luca Romero, the young Argentine, who is going to enter. And indeed, it is Macias who is going to replace Luca Romero, another new arrival in Milan. For Lazio, he was their youngest ever scorer, Luca Romero, at the age of 16 years and 9 months. First player born in the year 2004, Casey, to score in Serie A. Doesn't that make you feel young?
Oh, yes. Very young.
Involved immediately. Word from Nacho to hold that attack. Nacho, by the way, the captain now, post Karim Benzema. He is on the ball. He's actually the only player involved tonight that played in the last meeting on US soil between these two teams in 2012. And his 14th year with Real Madrid. Marcelo, hustle to get himself available for the ball. Nice layoff. Binga, Kamandi, Romero for company. To Lucas Vazquez, who's trying to work it for Bellingham, whose instinctive touch is in the vicinity of Brahim.
But again, there's that excellent press to win the ball back after what was a very promising play that didn't quite come off in the last minute with that with that layoff. But anytime you can have that effort to win the ball back in your opponent's half, as Real Madrid look to find the equalizer before the half ends.
Some early embryonic signs of Bellingham and Brahim.
Well, I think both sides have to be very happy with some of the way the new players have contributed in the attacking third in particular. And yes, there's no question that Bellingham has shown, Brahim Diaz as well has looked very lively on this right-hand side. As has Loftus-Cheek, as has Pulisic for Milan.
The attacks overall have had the upper hand, haven't they? It's made for an entertaining spectacle thus far.
Yeah, I mean, in these type of preseason games where probably the majority will be playing 45 minutes and probably no more than 60, the idea is to get as much fitness as you can in that period of time. Don't hold anything back, because we're going to take you out if we think that you're going to be fatigued. So let's keep working on those fitness levels. We know it's, for Real, it's their first game. For Milan, it's their second, but their first one against a more formidable opponent. So yeah, there's clearly no reason to think that hold something back for 90 minutes. Get that fitness exercise in as needed, because players will tell you, Adrian, you'd much rather run in a match than with the fitness coach at training. So get that running in today so you don't have to do it tomorrow.
Now, a loose touch from Lucas Vazquez. Pulisic doing well to recover after his feet went from under him, and it was an inadvertent.
A little trailing arm, maybe?
Yeah, flailing hand. Militao, I should say, was on the end of it. It seemed to be incidental from Pulisic. I'm going to have a look at it here.
Yeah, he kind of slipped, but then did a really good job, and then the arm comes around and catches him. And yeah, I agree, it's incidental, but I can see where the whistle went, unfortunately, because it looked like Pulisic had done an excellent job to be able to recover from the slip and look like he had sprung AC Milan on an excellent chance to get at the back four.
But Bellingham with some space to surge into. Languid dribbling style of his. Brahim hasn't been afraid to shoot on sight tonight. That one clattering into a wall of white.
And there's that press once again from AC Milan. Against that defense, and Real Madrid continue in possession to try to create the chances. But every time it looks like Real Madrid, after the press, winning possession back, but AC Milan collapses so well defensively and comes up with the key block when they've needed it in this first half.
Corner kick which Toni Kroos is waiting to deliver here. Everyone back for the Rossoneri. Kroos serving it. Joselu trying to get airborne. And Kroos quick to nip in there and win it back.
And then just tries to clip that ball into a dangerous area. But once again, when Milan needs a player in the right position, they have him.
Bellingham getting free! And the shot from Militao seemed to be goal bound, but Simic put his body on the line.
And once again, when they've needed a player to put their body on the line, it's a good flick in, it's a good volley, but as you said, Simic just throws his body and comes up with the key block, gets his arms tucked in so there's no issue with a handball.
Juan Carlos Simic has been in the eye of the storm, and he's done really well. The Primavera player, one of several called up for this US tour by AC Milan. Here is Stefano Pioli at the start of what will be his 5th season in charge.
And sometimes, Adrian, when you get those opportunities in pre-seasons, it's not necessarily about the immediacy. It's about proving that if the opportunity arises later, if there's some injuries, if there's some form issues, that you proved yourself at this time to then be given the chance. So it's not always just about, hey, can I make the squad now, but can this squad trust me in the future if needed?
Right. Cruz, near post, fended away by Calabria.
And that press, I think that is something, I think if we were to speak with Carlo Ancelotti right now, it looks like after covering Real Madrid so much last year, that there's one of those wrinkles that maybe they're trying to do this year that's a little bit different, is press the ball higher up the field, see if they could win the ball back in more dangerous areas.
Yeah. Every chance, of course, we're going to see some of the other big names in this Merengue squad in the second half. Of course, you start with Vinicius Jr. and Rodrigo. Luka Modric is here. In terms of the new arrivals, will we see Arda Güler, the young Turkish wonder kid, Fran Garcia, also a new arrival.
Yeah, I'd heard that Güler may be struggling with just a little bit of a tweak from training and might not be risked for this match, but supposedly he's impressed massively in the early training sessions so far.
Good training just down the road from here at the lovely campus of UCLA, where they feel very much at home. Carlo Ancelotti loves the surroundings. The university campus. Who wouldn't, Casey? It's a fabulous place to come at this time of the year. Not quite as fabulous was the challenge from Camavinga, deemed to be unfair by Timothy Ford.
Yeah, it all started with an unnecessary back heel from Bellingham, which gave possession to AC Milan, and then as Loftus-Cheek looks to come back inside, collision with Camavinga, a little high five between the two, just saying no ill intent.
Run off the ball and into space, the cross in. Put a pinball inside the penalty area from under. Lax clearance though by the AC Milan team is punished in some style, and it's Luka Romero off the bench and into the headlines. What a hit from Romero, and it's the Rossoneri who double their advantage here.
No, I agree, Adrian. You said it was just a loose clearance that was won back very well, and then it bounces. It's just unnecessary, but it's well won. And as it comes back inside, it bounces nicely, and it's preseason for goalkeepers as well. And Luna never really got his angle properly positioned, and Luka Romero punished him at that near post.
A young man who scored a grand total of one Serie A goal in his career thus far for Lazio.
But what a great job from Krunic, just to win possession back, to make that sliding challenge, to win the ball back after what has to be said. It was a poor clearance, no question about it, but you still have to punish a team for making the mistake, and Milan did exactly that.
Well, you mentioned it earlier in the first half, Casey, but these two teams perhaps exemplifying why AC Milan are a game ahead of Real Madrid. They have played a game. This is the very first action. It really, and you can tell the difference.
You can. In just the little incidences are that little bit cleaner from Milan. It's almost, as if maybe they started preseason a week earlier, as if they had one match more, just in that process. And again, Carlo Ancelotti doesn't care.
No.
Sometimes it's nice to have those mistakes early to be able to say, hey, look, this isn't acceptable. And the fact that Real Madrid didn't need to punish some lower opposition by double digits to get any kind of confidence. They're like, look, we're going to be fine. We'd rather have our players pushed against a good team early, and the result doesn't matter.
Yeah. Opponents with whom Carlo Ancelotti, of course, is very familiar. Now the surging run from Brahim again. Lucas Vazquez getting to the byline, clipping it across, and Sportiello was at full stretch. He's able to fingertip it away from danger. Lucas Vazquez is a constant presence down the right-hand side.
Yeah, Brahim Diaz, Lucas Vazquez have combined very well on this right-hand side. Bellingham has done a fantastic job. And again, Brahim Diaz just pressing the defense and combining so well. And it's a couple mistakes, really. Yeah. I mean, if you look at the difference, it's been a couple mistakes that have been punished by Milan. It's been a poor marking on a corner, and then it's a poor clearance and, you know, a ball that I think Lunin, if this was match one after a preseason, would have had a better angle and made the save. So, and then every time that Real Madrid have put themselves in a good position, an AC Milan player has stepped up to make the key block.
Yeah, stepping up now is Calabria, pouncing on a loose ball to put the brakes on. Help arriving, Luca Romero. Pobega looking for an outlet. Florenzi spins kindly for Looney, as he saw 3 minutes of stoppage time. A massive crowd here at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, mightily entertained.
The massive pro-Real Madrid crowd that is a little bit frustrated so far.
Mighty entertained, but most of them not as happy as they might be, hoping for better things in the second half. And they will see a very different Real Madrid team in the second half. We shall see as they have a corner to work with here at the tail end of the first. Toni Kroos jogging across to the far side. Kroos's delivery. Loose ball to be pounced upon. Valverde is there. His best ever goal-scoring year last year, didn't he? Federico Valverde, 7 goals in the La Liga campaign.
And a couple spectacular
strikes. Bellingham trying to cushion the header down. There's been some moments, hasn't there, from Jude Bellingham in this first half?
There really has been, and again, it's when Milan have needed to step up their defending after good approach play from Real Madrid, they've been able to do that. And once again, Tomori is in the right place. He shields the ball out after what was a good combination to almost open up a good goal-scoring chance. And so, yeah, it really has been a bend, not break, and capitalize on the Real Madrid mistakes for AC Milan in this first half.
Indeed, it's the first half that comes to a conclusion. So the Tomori header and the thunderbolt from Romero.
Shoe, even barefoot.
This fits your foot fits your shoes.
Copperfit Arch Relief Plus.
The second half is here, and the push to the postseason begins. Steal at home, and he will do it. Give us next-level superstars and the sounds of the game.
Tell the boys in the booth I said hi.
That might be me. What a catch! Oh boy! That was fun. Y'all might need to come around.